morning, beautiful people, and welcome to the fourth episode of Bizelevate. Today, the topic is there a market in the gap? Now, every good business, every good business idea has to be profitable. To make it profitable, it needs to fulfill a need of the customer, it needs to resolve a pain point, or it should be a solution to their problems. Now, if you can achieve this, surely your business is surely going to be successful. It's going to be sustainable because people need your service. But how to make it profitable? Profitable in a market that is shark infested. When we have a business, what do we aspire or desire? That it should be competitionless. No competition. I want to be able to do so much of business that people are queuing at my door to buy my service or product. Or I should be in a position to demand the price I want. Uh, I want to be sure that I work with the right clients. I should not have many challenges. I want a monopoly in the market. Well, that's a far fetched dream. Every management book or business entrepreneurship book tells you that if you want to have a good business, find the gap in the market. Well, it's very much easy to find a gap in the market. But is that gap going to be profitable for you? Is what needs to be said. How do you make a gap profitable? In a market, basically, there's so many players running after the same customer. Is it possible to create a gap in such a scenario? The moment that there is competition, that means you have to compromise on prices, you have to be dependent on some external internal factors to make sure that you have a sustainable business. All said and done, if I have to create a perfect business model that's sustainable, that's profitably sustainable, then I have to work on the gap. Find the right gap to market my product and services. If you have a right gap to market your product, that means you can control prices. That means you can lower your costs. That means you can have improved profit bottom line. To do all this, there are a few steps that you go through. I would like to give my own example. When I started 4C Integrated Communicators, I knew I wanted to get into marketing. I looked at the market. 80% of the Dubai economy is driven by SMEs. So I knew I want to market my service to SMEs. But would that 80% be a profitable business for me with the resources I had at that point in time? I had to look a little more deeper into that gap. Or I would say into that market to find that profitable gap. So I took it to the next level. Who would be the right client for me? So I started looking at specific SMEs, sector-wise, geographical locations, Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi. And I zeroed down to, okay, let me look at Abu Dhabi. Let me look at SMEs or micro businesses who have a particular turnover. This can be my ideal client. They have a requirement. There is this gap that needs to be fulfilled for this particular market segment. As I went to the third step, I realized that not all the micro businesses or small businesses would come to me, a newcomer in the market, for transactions, for business. So I had to refine something. And to refine that and make myself fit for the gap, I had to refine my product. It was like more of a step by step advancement into making my target market very, very specific. Very, very specific. That would actually make me realize how profitable it's going to be over a period of time. So, just having a gap isn't enough. Is that gap going to give you enough profits to sustain your business is important. When I started, I said I want 35,000 dirhams every month to make my business sustainable. If a customer is or a market is just giving me around 700, 800 dirhams per client, it's not going to make my business sustainable. I need at least 3,000 dirhams per client. That means I had to shift my target a bit here and there to clear that niche aspect and say that, okay, I'm going to market myself into this marketing segment. This is where I require product refinement or service refinement. And that's how things started moving. And for the past 10 years, we have maintained that gap because that gap is profitably sustainable. A sustainable business or a profitably sustainable market gap, if I have to find that, I need to charter unoccupied gaps. That's one. That means I have to look at the gap and create a product. If I already have a product, then I have to create niche targets. Niche is actually kind of a jargon word, but I would say specific. If I have to uh, use a synonym, specify, define your target to the last T, or have an innovative product, a unique product which nobody else has put up in the market. And that actually does not need to be really something new. You can have an existing one and do a bit of a value addition, and it works well for services, by the way. If you have value added services, your product or your service takes on a different meaning for the market altogether. Finding the right profitable sustainable gap is what is going to take you a long way. And as you move into establishing your business and taking it to the next level, you will realize how important it was to define the profitability of the gap rather than defining the gap in the market. Well, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow, same portal, same time, with another episode of Bees Elevate.